Hello everyone, welcome to this particular podcast. So today's guest is Kallol, and today's topic is very interesting. We will be covering about a particular industry because a lot of aspiring product managers and product managers who want to work into the B2B space, there is an in the B2B space there is an entire industry called contract lifecycle management tools are out there, and Kallol is having a vast experience into that particular thing. So I have invited him as a guest into this particular podcast. So Kallol will give you an entire overview about that industry. So welcome, Kallol, and thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. So Kallol, you can start with a quick brief about yourself, and then you can.
Sure, Sachin. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for inviting me here. That is a real pleasure actually to meeting you and coming here. And Sachin, currently I'm associated with Adobe, where I'm working as a product consultant, dealing with the implementations, more of an advisory services, you can say, but for a different domain. Not exactly contract cycle, life cycle management, but an LMS domain. But before that, in my career, you can say I have around 6 years total of years experience working around different products related to contract lifecycle management, implementing them, learning their business use cases, their business strategy. The difficult part, you can say, working with lawyers, the GCs and the lawyers. That has been the really difficult, challenging part about it. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll share you my screen
Yes, sure.
and maybe that will just give me a moment. So, yeah, am I? The screen
Yeah, your
is
screen
supposed to be
visible.
visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. Okay. So today, my main aim of coming here is talking about contract lifecycle management. I'm not sure how many people of you might have heard it because this is something it has been booming since a long time. I would not say since long, but you can say I started my career in around 2018, and when I moved on to a CLM industry, it was 2019. But at that point of time, that company already completed its 10 years. So yeah, it has been in market for a while, not for a long term. But this is one of the challenges I would say which most of the companies face and most of the companies use. You can say contracts is something every company, you can go to any Nukkad and every
Right.
company is using it. But the system that is built to actually help out with the contracts, creating those, managing those throughout their whole lifespan of the contract. For that, we'll use contract lifecycle management.
And I'm sure a lot of people are not aware that for this particular thing, there are tools out there that are used to do this
Yeah,
contract management. Super, you can continue.
sure. So moving on to the first slide, that is, let's talk about contract. So what do we understand by contract? Normally, Sachin, what do you think? What do you believe? What is a
Generally, there are
contract
two
in your terms?
parties. There are two parties. They are signing an agreement between that. Okay, that it could be rent agreement or any kind of the agreement that is there. But yeah, so the two parties agreeing on a particular thing that we will move ahead on this particular way. Okay, so I think that's the contract, and they sign it together. And if anyone will not follow it, then there could be some a legal thing could happen over there. So this is what my thought process about this. Rest you can explain.
Sure, Sachin. Just I wanted to understand like what you feel about contract, but yeah, as you said, like we are surrounded by contracts in our day-to-day life. You can actually like spoke about rent agreement. That is also a contract. You
Right.
go into and join any firm. That is a contract. So a contract, in my terms, like I won't go into that definition perspective, but I'll say it is sort of a binding document between two parties where two parties are involved. It can be more than two parties also. That is one thing which people generally don't know about. But it can involve more than one parties, and you are just bind by some law clauses or terms, you can say, provided by law. And if you don't follow it or something happens, something breaks between the two parties, then there are even different clauses to actually how they would separate out. But there are legal actions also. Sometimes it can be just when you're leaving organization, you have to serve some time of notice period and then you can leave.
Hmm.
Okay, so those terms are actually mentioned in the contract. So it is just that two parties agreeing to do certain thing, and I'll do this, you will do that, or I'll provide this service, or I'll provide you this much product, and you'll give me this much money. So that is the basic aim of contract. And you can see, I have tried to cover, like in this picture, if possible, you can see various photos in here. Two or three things to which you can notice. One is the law. Obviously, a contract is surrounded by law, and you can see
Yes.
both the sides law are there. Then this what do we call this?
Duration.
Duration. No, but this duration, every contract has a duration that you need to follow, and both the parties need to follow. For example, you are asking a seller, you are signing a contract, you are buying some product, maybe 2 to 3 laptops for your organization, or sorry, 200 or 300 laptops, and the supplier said that I'll give you within certain time frame, and you also said that I'll pay this much in advance and this much after certain time. So that duration needs to be captured.
Right.
Those two are one of the basic things about contract. It can be money related, or it can be related to certain timelines also. So I have not mentioned money here because some contracts vary from one to another, you can say.
Hmm.
So
Right.
that is what contract is. Now if you talk about contracts, now you can think that okay, I'll not go to that. I'll come to that in the next point. But coming to contract lifecycle management. Now, if you see in the diagram, I have included many industries which are actually developing tools on managing contract.
Hmm.
And we name these tools as CLM tools.
Hmm.
Now, CLM is coming from a term, like from a phrase you can say, which means contract lifecycle management,
Hmm.
where contract lifecycle defines actually from the initiation point, like where we are just deciding that okay, we will build a contract. You go
Hmm.
tomorrow, as you gave an example of a rent agreement.
Right.
Tomorrow you go, tomorrow you look out at various houses, and then you finalize one. Okay, this is the house I want to buy. Now I meet the owner and we agree, okay, I'll be at least staying for 1 year. Sometimes people do rent agreement for 2 to 3 years even.
Right.
So you provide a time frame and you get into a discussion. I'll pay this much money, and you sort of bargain and get into a conclusion. Okay, this is the amount I'll pay. This is like you can say per month agreement. This is the deposit I'll pay.
Right.
So that is actually called the initiation phase when you are discussing about any contract.
Hmm.
You're discussing to get into a contract, like between the two parties, you and the owner maybe.
Hmm.
And it varies in different stages. Even when you're joining a job, okay,
Hmm.
you do discuss the salary structure, you negotiate the salary, okay,
Right.
and this is the salary which I'll get, this is what will be my joining bonus, and all these needs to be documented in a employment contract, and after that you sign it even before joining the organization.
Right.
So the discussion phase, which you do at the starting, is called the initiation phase, you can say.
Hmm.
And a contract lifecycle actually is going from the initiation phase to the execution phase. Execution phase, in terms of job, you can say that you have joined the job,
Hmm.
or in terms of rent. Sorry, if you are going into a rental house, then it would be like you have started staying in the house.
Hmm.
But the contract life cycle doesn't stop there.
Right.
It continues on, because after that maybe you get an increment in your job. So
Hmm.
your contract will renew. You'll get an incremental letter that will be added to your contract, that we
Right.
call normally in terms of amendment or renewal.
Hmm.
In terms of if you are going on for rental properties, you renew it after 11 months.
Hmm.
So that is what contract life cycle is. It's like starting point till the end point, till you actually break that terms and condition. Maybe you switch to a different house, or you switch to a different vendor when you are talking about buying and supplying, or in terms of rent agreement, you switch to a different house.
The initiation that you mentioned, then is the execution that you
Yeah.
mentioned. Then what is?
Actually, I'll go into depth in a later stage if
Okay.
that's
Okay.
okay with you, or I can
Yeah.
go
Yeah. Yeah.
ahead
Yeah.
right
It's
now.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, we'll come to that. Sure, Sachin. Now, now you can see this is called contract life cycle. Now you need someone to manage those. Okay.
Hmm.
Now managing, previously we used to do by keeping documentation. Literally, lawyers used to have piled up documentation,
Right.
especially when I'm talking in terms of. I'm not talking in terms of the law or the criminal law, but I'm
Hmm.
talking in terms of official laws.
Yeah.
Like in companies used to be piled up. Those contracts used to be piled up in different companies. So there, many companies came into picture where they decided, let's start. tool, or let's bring a tool which will at least help them actually save the contract. So at the beginning, the contract lifecycle management didn't started with, okay, we'll create a contract and all those. The first thing was just for the repository purpose. And today also, like in the last company where I worked in, it was in 2020. At that point of time also, I saw companies who were just looking at for repository purpose, because
Kind
storing
of a
those
Google Drive.
info. Yeah,
Kind of a Google Drive.
yeah, but an easier search. Google Drive, I'll come to that, why it is an easier search when it comes to contract lifecycle management tool rather than a Google Drive. I'll come to that also.
Sure.
But yeah, mainly because of repository purpose, and because you keep everything to yourself in the form of papers, it is going to pile up like anything. And that's where the contract lifecycle management tool came in, that we'll just use for repository purpose. After that, those companies went in depth how the life cycle goes on for a contract, how we can create those, what we can build from a technical side that can help these lawyers to go from the starting phase to the end phase, you can say. So that's how contract lifecycle tools came into existence. And today also, like, these tools are growing rapidly, and many types of innovations are coming in day by day. AI came, different set of innovations came in. Even tomorrow, if anything else comes up, it will come into contract lifecycle management.
All right.
I have listed out some of the companies who are actually in contract lifecycle management, and I can say some of the people who might be watching your podcast, it will be helpful for them. So in India, you can say iCertis, Syrian, Simply Contract. These are some really innovative, and Conga also. These are some really innovative contract lifecycle management tools. People aspiring to go into this domain can actually look out for these companies. Then, obviously, you have DocuSign, Agiloft, and Ironclad. These normally you'd find it outside of India. These products are built outside of India, actually, you can say. But these are few of the examples.
Super.
Any questions, Sachin?
No, nothing as of now. If we can continue.
Now, yeah, this is just a diagrammatic view which I got in Fortune Business Insights. As how is the market share of the industry in 2024? And you can say 80% of B2B transactions are done through contract. It can be in
Okay.
any industry, you name it. So most of them are in legal and compliance, obviously, because that is the main requirement. But it does play a role in healthcare, government industries, energy and utilities industry, IT and telecom. You can name any industry and they have contracts. So it is nothing like that. And the interesting part about contracts is it will never come to an end, because people have to come and work together.
Right.
And when you come and work together, you obviously need a contract. Yeah, either it can be a friendship or a contract.
Yes,
Depends on you.
definitely. Even in the marriages, people are getting into the contacts.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's an interesting domain, actually. A very niche domain, I would say. You get to work with some of the like you can say beautiful but tough people, in terms of their knowledge. The lawyers, you can say, the lawyers and the GCs, general counsel, for different organizations. So they are really straightforward, and you cannot miss something, or you cannot utter something which is very, like, sort of very general. You have to be very precise when you speak to them. But a very beautiful industry. You have a lot to learn, I can say that.
Super.
Okay, moving on to the.
I think in the fintech there would be maximum contracts. The market cap should be higher, right?
Yep.
Because fintech is
Fintech,
always
then there
surrounded
are.
by the contracts. Because whenever there is a money,
Yes,
the contracts are there.
sure. Money is involved. Finance, if you say finance department in every company, whether it can be a manufacturing company, a healthcare company, even you can say any retail one, any education one, everywhere, you have contracts.
Right.
Because somewhere down the line, you are purchasing, you are selling, you are enrolling people for their services, or you are enrolling a different company for their services.
Right.
You remember the recent scenario, right, where the SSC examination, that chaos is happening, where people are not getting seats. I think that is in the news a lot.
Yeah.
So there also, yeah, the government is signing contract with some other company to facilitate, like, the SSC exam for them. So it's
Right.
an interesting industry, I would say. Yeah, obviously you are right when it comes to banking and finance. It is a lot because, and not only banking and finance, the second industry which I'll say or department which I'll say uses it a lot would be the procurement one. The people who procure your services or goods. But finance obviously stays at the top, undoubtedly.
Got you.
Okay, any questions?
No, no, no. We can move ahead.
Yeah. So now I'll come to the key phases, but this is what nowadays when a company goes and looks for a CLM platform, uh, over different applications in the web. So the four things which they normally look for. One is, you can say, intelligent authoring. Now, authoring, you can say, authoring is building the contract over the system. So they just need to fill in few details, and the system will automatically create, you can say, contracts for them. So for
Okay.
the, it's like drafting the clauses that needs to be present in the, or you can say the terms and conditions that needs to be present in the contract, that is already fed into the system, and you just fill out certain details like who is the new vendor or who is the new supplier, till what date. Those all things you fill out,
Basically,
and the
it's sort of
system will auto.
templates are there. Templates are there that with
Yes,
the
you can say.
clauses, and you will just need to input the information between the clients and then the date and all those things. It will create for you.
Yeah,
Superb.
and yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, continue.
Yeah.
I was mentioning superb. It's a good thing.
Yeah. So that is the first thing they look for. The second thing is they look for is collaboration and workflow. And collaboration is still easy, where you already have, online, or you can say live Word documents, or you can say live Zoho documents, where people can come together and, interact and collaborate and work on the specific document together. So live documents can be helpful in that. But the one of the important things here is the workflow part. Now, workflows varies between companies to companies. Now, let me
Right.
give you what is a workflow. Okay, workflow is how the contract will move from the starting to the end. So there should be, like, whenever a contract moves from starting to end, there are multiple stages. One is negotiate. One, you can say, they are negotiating with their stakeholders, or you can say the different parties involved in the contract, and there are some approvals that needs to be done, and it doesn't need to be one approval, it can be multiple n number of approvals. So till date, you can say, I have the maximum approvals which I have seen is around 158 for a specific contract, for only one contract. Then there would be automatic signature. Now you have many tools like Adobe Sign and DocuSign, who builds tools to, electronically sign the document. So that again comes under the workflow. Then how would it get executed? Then how it would get renewed if there is any amendment to it. Again, these two terms, let me finish this chart and I'll come to you about renewal and amendment. This is a very interesting term, actually. Then the third thing they look for is analytics and compliance. Obviously, they want to report over how is the contract successful, how many contracts you have done for which all organization. For example, I am buying a laptop from Lenovo, and
Right.
in a year, you can say I'm buying, as an organization, I'm buying, say, 7 to 8 times. So on what all times, how many purchases I have done, what are the laptop count. So all those analytics they need, all the reporting they need, so that at the end of the day, when the year ends, the annual year ends, they want to calculate, they want to do a compliance review. At that point of time, it is really helpful.
Superb.
Then coming to the compliance part. Now, compliance is something, in terms of contract, it is like the foremost thing. The various clauses, the various terms and conditions you give, whether they are getting adhered or not. So compliance review is required in every contract lifecycle management platform. They normally do it in the form of risk score. So they try to match one clause or one terms and condition with the, like, the built-in template, and how much of it is different. Depending on that, the risk score is calculated. So actually, you are checking whether the terms and condition mentioned in the contract you created, or maybe you are receiving that contract from a third party. It's not your template. So you are matching it with your template, and what is the difference? How much is the difference? Whether all the risks are getting calculated or not. So those all things come under compliance. And third is monitor and renew. Now, this is something which you should be able to do is renew contract. So once the contract is over, how the system should be intelligent and capable enough to renew it with the new, with the new
New
dates, with the
dates,
new
new conditions.
approvals, yeah, new terms and conditions. If there has been any change in the, company policies, that also needs to be included. So how easy it is to do with the platform. So these are, you can say, the four important things. Though those are not four, you can say more than that. But these are some of the important things or aspect which a company, when they are purchasing a CLM platform, they look into.
Got it.
Any questions in this slide?
No, no, everything is super clear basically because it's a collaboration,
No.
a flow, creation is there, analytics and compliance is there, and the monitoring and the review. Yeah, that's super.
Okay. Now here you can see at the bottom there are two things. I'll just go back. Yeah. Renewals and amendments. Okay. Now this thing you will come to here when if you ever go into a contract lifecycle management domain ever, then these two words will come and you might get confused on what are this. So renewals is basically a contract is ending say by today. From tomorrow a new contract will start, maybe with the same terms and condition, maybe a little bit different.
Right.
So that is renewal. I think that is pretty much clear about renewal.
Right.
Amendments comes into picture. For example, I have a contract with company and say from today to next year on the same day. Uh, so in between, there are few changes to the policy. Maybe some of the products price have increased due to recession or anything. It can be anything. And you want to change the terms and conditions of the current contract itself. At that point of time, amendment is created.
So
So
basically,
amendment,
it's yeah. Please, please.
yeah, go ahead, Sachin.
So basically,
I think,
what I'm understanding from this is because I am into this situation where one of my properties, okay, the rent agreement had expired. Okay, so that is
okay,
something that is going inside my mind continuously. So it is expired. So if we are extending it, so that's a renewal with the same conditions.
yes,
Everything is same. But amendment
yes.
is if let's suppose I have to make any changes in the conditional over there, like in the earlier one there was a 6 months lock-in period. Let's suppose now if in the new one if you will not mention that lock-in period, so that's an amendment. Am I right?
Not a new one, I would say. For example, okay,
In the
let's see.
renewed
Okay,
one, yeah, please.
I came across this while I was in Pune, I would say that. So one of the owners suddenly, like my rent was around 16K, and he suddenly increased it to 20K in the middle of the year.
Okay.
So you can see 5 months has completed, but still there are 6 months to go. And he changed the rent, and he's saying like the in market the rent has increased and all those. At that point of time, he's doing an amendment actually, because in the current running process of the contract, in between you are changing some terms and conditions or some policies at that or some clauses you can say. At that point of time, that is called an amendment.
So if it is
And
done in between, it is called amendment. If it is getting renewed at that point of time, if you will change the conditions, then it will be
then
a
also it is
renewal.
renew. Yeah.
Okay,
Even
got
if
you.
whether you change it or not, it will be renewable.
Okay, got you. Yeah, we can move it.
Okay. Now I think this was the question.
Stages.
Yeah, the key life cycle stages of CLM. So I think this was your question, and I said I'll cover that up. So this is
Yeah.
what it is. So request an author. That is like you can say you are initiating the process where you are discussing, and then you are building that same format in the contract. So in the platform, you are feeding those details, and it is creating a draft. So normally, when a new contract is created, we call it a draft agreement. So draft, it means it has gone not gone through approvals, it has not gone through signatures, nothing has happened. It's just a template which you have created from another template. That's it, with all the details inside it.
Got you.
Next is the negotiate phase. Now, negotiate phase, uh, there are two types of negotiations that happen in a contract. One, you can say an internal collaboration or negotiation between the internal teams. So the legal team comes in and say, okay, the price is looking good. Okay, I'm okay with this. Then maybe the IT team, if it is relevant to some purchase related to IT, maybe some cords you are buying, some laptops you are buying, some mouse you are buying. So they will come up and say, okay, this looks good. I think this is the mouse what I need. Then there can be procurement team who are actually, procuring those all things for the whole company. They will come up and say, okay, this looks good. This is the number of items which I was looking for. There is Finance team will obviously finance, okay, this is the amount I can pay, and the supplier has given a right deal. And then there is legal team, if there, because legal team needs to be involved in a contract, because the termination clauses, if anyone fails to comply to what all clauses have been mentioned, or the what all terms and condition have been mentioned is proper or not, that legal team checks. So this
Got it.
is what you're looking at: internal collaboration or internal negotiation, where all the internal stakeholders of the company are involved. Then comes in negotiate, then is there is a second part, which is called external collaboration. Now the external collaboration, sometimes some of the platforms do provide a feature in the contract lifecycle management, that they can invite the external people, provide them a temporary ID and password, then they can log in and work on the document together. Or some people do it via email exchange. They will, the company, A company will mail the B company, then B company will revert back again to A company. So in these two ways, the external collaboration happen. But it is like you are actually collaborating or negotiating with the external party. If you think that some of the maybe the pricing is a little bit higher, and you want to ask for a less price, at that point of time, the external negotiation happens.
Got you.
So that uh, comes here the second stage. Now, in this, normally at this point of time, systems, CLM systems will, or CLM platforms will integrate with some live documentation platform. It can be, what I have seen in two companies which I've worked for, is they either use Word or Zoho or Google Docs, which are live document, and any people can come, multiple
Yes.
people can come and work. So that is how negotiation happens. Now, the third thing is approval. Now, approval is very important. Approval is the place where your CEOs, CTOs, all those people will come and approve the document. Okay, this document looks good, it's ready to move forward.
All the
Multi
stakeholders basically.
Yeah, all the stakeholders, not the external ones, but mostly it is in the internal terms. So it can be, obviously the legal team signs it, approves it, because they have to approve the clauses present in the contract. Then if the procurement team is involved to define the numbers and all, they will also approve it, because after negotiation a final copy is there which needs to be approved by all the teams who are involved in the negotiation phase, or even not involved. Maybe the CTO is not involved, but he has to, or the CFO is not involved, but he has to approve for the finance. At that point of time, their approval would be required. So approval phase, normally the CLM platform will have it, but I have seen some enterprise clients who normally have their own approval system altogether. So they try to integrate with it. So the
Okay.
CLM platform will actually call that approval API, and then they will go there. They will need to approve there, and then again come back with the response in the CLM platform.
So are there any specific approval platforms out there that are live in the market, or these are the custom ones that are created by these companies?
These are the customers. These are homegrown ones, you can say, for those specific clients which I have seen.
Got you.
Normally, a CLM platform, when do you define the workflow actually? So this is actually the most simplest workflow which you can see here, that you are requesting, negotiating, approving, signing, and monitoring and renewing. But actually, when you are building those workflows, it can go from first request an author to, you can say, internal negotiation, then again approval, then external negotiation, again approval, then signing, then if it
Basically,
is
multiple
failing, where
stages
should
are
it
there.
go? Yeah, a lot
Okay.
many. You can actually make it into multiple stages depending on the number of approvals, depending on what if someone rejects it, what will happen, you can say. So where should it go? Whether should it go to negotiate, or should it go back to again at the authoring stage where you are drafting the contract? So all those mix and matches you need to create. So there are a lot of permutation and combinations regarding all these stages. This is the most simplest, you can say, the workflow what you're saying. But why I have kept this simple is because these are the only stages involved, you can
Stages.
say.
Primary stages are these. Under that, there could be other sub stages
Sub
that could be there.
stages. Yeah. So after the approval, then the
Signing and storing.
sign, yeah, signing and storing. So signing obviously need the both the parties involved for that contract needs to sign the contract. Normally, there are two types of signature which we call, like in the, we named it. One is wet signature, and one is you can say electronic signature. The name itself says, like, electronic signature is Adobe Sign, you use this, you configure your system and implement integrate with Adobe Sign, or you can say DocuSign. These are like signing applications, and normally these are the most famous one, Adobe Sign and DocuSign. I have
Right.
even seen homegrown ones by different enterprise clients. They have their own signing software, so they also integrate with that. But whatever I've seen is like normally any CLM platform that is coming up, they will have access to these two platforms. Like they are like, default integrators of that platform. And wet signature is where you are downloading a copy. Now at this stage, when the contract comes, they are mostly into PDF. They are never into Word doc. So this is the last stage when they are in Word document. After they, like, once they go out for signing, they are in PDF. At that point of time, nothing can be edited
Edited
in the
into that.
contract. Yes. And the only thing they can do is signature. So wet signature is basically you are going there, signing with pen, scanning the copy and then sending it via email. That is called wet signature. And
So
yeah,
today
that,
itself,
yeah, go ahead.
coming to the wet signature. So today itself, I got to know from someone. Somehow this thing cleared to me. Okay, so someone told me that in India, these e-signature don't have that much credibility than the wet signature.
Yeah, actually, it's like, you cannot make people move from one, like they are accustomed to something, their comfort zone, and then they have to upgrade to something. And that is a tougher task. And that's why I said, when you're talking about lawyers, very most of the people that you deal with are literally bigger than you in terms of age, and it's really hard to convince them that this also works. And even not only when I'm talking about Adobe Sign and DocuSign, they charge you money. They give you a different encryption code which your signature stores it. So it is anyways safe. Yeah, but in India, people tend to move towards the wet signature more. But I think the slowly and down the line, it is moving. Even my dad, I'll say you, my dad has his own business, so I'll not go into depth what he's doing and all, but he does sign tenders. He get tenders, he signs it. Previously, he used to do with it with wet signature. Okay, but recently, like since past, I think 4 to 5 years, I've seen him using a solution called Encode solution. So they have a sort of small pen drive which has the encrypted data. You put in, you sign any document, you create your own signature in Adobe. Like you go to Adobe PDF Maker, there you can just click and create your signature. It will pass on the encryption code and it will digitally sign it.
No, my question was from the legal terms, legal side. Okay, that
Hmm.
if there is a document that is having the e-signature over there, does it have the same credibility that if I have to file any legal case on someone, we had agreed on that thing, and we are not going ahead with this, or there is something happened in between, and if I have to go legal on that particular part, okay, that with that particular e-signed agreement or the e-signed contract, will it have the same credibility as of the one that is done manually?
Yes, it is supposed to have the same credibility, I would say,
Got it.
because the point is only how people are adapting to it. But I would say, in my experience, what I've seen is e-signature is much more safer as compared to manual wet signature. Tomorrow, someone can come on your behalf and can sign on your behalf, and people won't come to know whether it was your signature if you could fully replicate your signature.
Got it.
At that point of time, e-signature becomes more safe. But yeah, again, legally what is happening is, when it is coming to different enterprise clients or enterprise companies, they have moved on to e-signature. But still, if you go into, like, tomorrow you go and file a case, India system is still that slow. They haven't moved to electronic signature world. But in companies policies and companies legal team, they are adhering to legal, like
Got it.
electronic signatures, you can say.
Got it. And now my next question is, if someone who want to get into this product management field, who basically want to get into this contract lifecycle management product, who want to work into this, so do they need to have some sort of legal knowledge as well regarding the laws and all those things, or because personally I don't have that such knowledge. Okay, I'm coming from simple BTech background, so I never had such kind of experience. So if someone had to get into this thing, though, do they need to have such knowledge, or what's your say on this one?
See, when I moved to actually contract lifecycle management, I'm a student who was coming from computer engineering and MBA in IT. And I moved to an LMS company. And when I went into this contract lifecycle management domain, it was like I was totally blank. I don't know what it is. I just knew that okay, I'm good at implementing something. I can do that, but I don't know what it is about. But it is like a learning curve. This 5 years is sorry 6 years was like I'm learning at every you can say every step I'm learning something new. But yeah, if you're having a legal background, then it's a very good thing.
Got it.
Know more about contracts more than me. I have a friend where I studied MBA. I had a friend who was coming from a law background, but he was doing MBA in IT. So I think that combination is actually helping him out. And if he goes to today in the CLM domain, he would excel like better than me, I would say,
Got it.
because at that point of time you have knowledge about contracts and how the legal system works.
Got
Any other questions? Like after sign and store, the only thing that comes into monitor and renew, I think we went through what renewals and amendments are. Any
it.
questions
Right.
you have related to the whole cycle? Moving on to the next thing. So you can say this is the CLM ecosystem. These are the basic teams which get involved in different CLM platforms most of the time. So these are the legal team, procurement team, sales and development team, finance team, as you mentioned. So these are all the teams.
Got it.
And these are some of the contract types which you can say are actually like the basic ones which most of the companies will have. One is an NDA that you don't say anything, I don't say anything. It's like a very confidentiality, non-disclosure agreement. Then the master
Right.
service agreement where you are like when you are buying services or you are into a subscription mode from some company, you just highlight what will it, or you are giving project to some companies, you just highlight what are the general terms and conditions. That is master service agreement, and when this condition will break, what termination clause will be, what how much money I'd be investing, how would it look like. SOW or statement of work is a more in-depth, you can say, sort of agreement, which will be, so for example, if you're doing master service agreement for 5 projects, then there would be 5 SOWs defining each of the deliverables for each of the projects. So one project will have
Okay.
one SOW, the second one will have second. So MSA will always go with hand in hand with a statement of work. They share a parent-child relationship, you can say.
Got it. Got it.
Then obviously the third one is the vendor agreement, which you will come across multiple times when companies are purchasing something from other company in terms of products like laptops, mouses, especially in IT firms. That is what company, or table, chairs. At that point of time, vendor agreement comes into
Got
play.
it.
And the last one, oh, not the last one. There are multiple contract types, but which are among the common
Primary
ones. I
five.
think, yeah, this is the one that everyone is aware of. Employment
Yes,
contract.
employment contracts.
And this is a pain for most of the people, I know.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how CLM is evolving in terms of future key trends and current key trends? One is like, as you know, AI and automation has come into play. So people are now, CLM platforms are now, using AI actually to read the document and then pull out the key. So especially when it comes to migration, previously it used to be PDF document, and those PDF documents were non-readable by the system. Okay, they were more of like pictures, you can say. So at that
Okay.
point, their AI is playing role where they are picking up what are the key obligations. Key obligations, you can say the key terms and conditions. Then what are the risks, what are the clauses that are mentioned, what is the date that is mentioned, who is the vendor that is mentioned. So that is now being built into ALM to pull out those. And even AI is learning. So for example, a company is based out in, say, you can say, what to say, Spain, US and India. Okay, then there are three different laws actually for every place you are. US, there must be different laws. For Germany, or you can say Spain, there must be different law. For India, there must be different law. So we are actually building those and feeding the AI in such a way that it remembers all the clauses and terms and conditions depending on different contract types. And when tomorrow, if I go and create a new contract, it should be able to build those templates whichever location I select, rather than going and filling everything and selecting the template. AI should be capable enough to do that. So that is how you're automating and making life. easier of the lawyers.
Nice.
And cloud-based SaaS, this is okay. Sorry. And now every application is moving into SaaS, cloud-based SaaS platforms, where they are now charging in terms of license count or subscription, you can say. And yeah, even CLM platforms are moving into that direction. And I was one of, like, in my previous organization, I was one of the persons, and you can say the lead person, who was migrating from their old platforms to the new SaaS platform. So I had a lot of experience, and that is a really chaotic part, because you cannot map things together. And
Right.
this was the really chaotic experience, you can say. But yeah, it's a good experience, and you learn a lot, I would say that. And third, you can say, as the system integrations, obviously you will have different ERPs and CRM, where all your vendor details, or your contractor details or consultant are stored. And obviously you can easily pull and store contract, like Salesforce is one of the integrations which I look for a lot many times. In SAP, there is SAP ERP. There are also a lot of integrations, Oracle, all those CRMs and ERPs. The integrations is a lot with CLM.
Got it.
And yeah, the future of CLM. So yeah, obviously, as I said, it is never
Yeah.
stopping. This CLM industry is never gonna go down. It is
Right.
increasing. Maybe new innovations might come up, like AI driven insights, where you can say AI should be able to give insights just by going scanning the document, and you it should be able to give you insight rather than you reading the whole contract, so that the main key terms and conditions are covered, and the lawyer is aware of about that, or the team is aware about that, or the key stakeholders.
Right.
Yeah, conversational interface. This is what I've seen in recently a lot, even with my last organization, current organization. They are using chatbots, and they are making those chatbots capable enough so that they can guide any new person how to create a contract, or what they need to follow, what are the steps they need to follow to configure some settings, the workflows, the roles and permissions.
And people will start saying AI is eating our jobs.
Well, you have to renew, that.
Okay.
Then you have the composable architecture, obviously integration with different APIs, microservices. I think that flexibility CLM is trying to cater into. Still a long way to go, both in terms of AI-driven insights and composable architecture, because the main problem where it arises is, especially in AI-driven insights, is, you can say, every country in this world. So the n number of countries, the number of laws. Even in India, you have seen, like, state to state also the law varies. So how
Right.
many terms and conditions will the AI learn? It's like a very long process. So that is actually the third, the last point, continuous compliance. So you
Continuous
have to be
compliance. Yes.
compliant with every industry, their rules and regulations, their terms and conditions, depending on different places, countries. So it's a vast
Def-
thing, and that will take time. But yeah, that is how the future of CLM look like, and it's a never ending. So you can say it will always be in boom, and it won't stop, because it is an innovation, and it is related to data and contracts which you use in day to day life.
Right. But yeah, staying continuous compliance is something, staying updated with all these things, because it is really an tough thing to do.
Yeah, because tomorrow a rule comes out, it changes. But to again,
Yes.
for us, it's just one rule. But for AI, it is across the globe. So across the globe, how many number of changes have been done? The AI should be familiar with that. So that
Right.
is a really tough part, you can say.
Yeah. So we can go
So
ahead. Yeah.
this is
Growth.
actually, yeah. So this is actually, I took from one more research, the business research company. They have done a research. Actually, this research actually varied from company to company, but a growth of around CAGR, you can say 12 to 15, is estimated by everyone in just by 2029, and that's a
Superb.
huge amount.
Right.
And
And
obviously, it
it
will
is
keep.
obvious. It is obvious because a lot of companies are there, a lot of things are happening, and everywhere, everything that I can think of, everywhere you need some sort of contact to get the
There's
things done.
nothing,
To
yeah. And the
I never
only
thought of in
problem.
this particular direction, literally, but this is literally a big, I would say, uh, area or industry where I'm sure a lot of people have never even thought of that this could be a big market.
Yep, and the people who thought, I remember, like, in my first CLM organization, we used to sit with the CEO, and he used to tell his stories that he started in a one RK. He started the company there, and I joined it when it was a silver jubilee, and he was celebrating like hell, and it has already been an unicorn by that time. CLM industry is like a booming one, and many players are actually coming right now. They are trying to make it more simpler, implementing AI into it, implementing different, integrations with it. So yeah, it is booming. But obviously, the way how CLM used to be viewed previously in the history and now is totally different. You can say. And one of the thing is most of the time what I've seen is the European and the American people implementing it. Still India needs to come up. Very few companies which I've seen has actually started implementing CLM, but still a long way to go in India. And one more thing is uh, I've seen some people trying to actually bring contract lifecycle management to the normal vendors. You can say normal vendors and shopkeepers, the local vendors and shopkeepers I'm talking. But the only problem there which they are suffering from is the high cost. Some, this application is really high cost, and a local shopkeeper or shop owner cannot afford that much. But still, there are tries going on, a little, you can say, a light version of it, but still as of now there is no such application. But yeah, there are tries going on to actually invest in that market and go into that market.
Got it. Yeah.
So I think this is one of the questions. Yeah, product management
Integrating
challenges
AI.
in CLM. Yeah, so
Integrating
one of the
AI.
integrating AI and managing the expectation of the client. Oh my God, I'll tell you, Sachin, client expectation are like, you are saying, okay, we can reach till say 32 floors in a building, but they want to reach till sky. It's not possible. They want everything to be automated, which is not possible. AI is
Right.
something which you can train, but it cannot behave like a human being or a law.
Mm.
Then the second thing is maintaining security and compliance. As I told you, like laws keeps on changing. Keeping the AI up to date and the system up to date is quite difficult when it is catering all over the world. And then I would say, yeah, this actually catering to diverse customer need, these actually comes into this, and even customer have really different thought about workflow. Like as I told you, one of the customer came up with 158 approvals for a single contract. It's like saying that for that one contract, you need 158 people to come from the internal team. Leave about the external stakeholders. It's from the internal stakeholders you need that many people. So yeah, sometimes it becomes really challenging to actually cater the customer needs. And then migration of legacy contracts. Now, this is what I was speaking about, where previously the contracts used to be, when they used to be turned into PDF, it was more of like a picture rather than you can just, copy the text and paste it somewhere. It is more like a photo. So migrating those, making sure they, all the data is captured and all the previous dates are captured. Even the previous systems used to be more of like a different architecture for different customers, because they were like sort of built only for specific customer. And now when it comes to a SaaS based world, they have a different architecture, and migrating those had been a really challenging, because these migration projects have eaten up my head like anything. Like I had many sleepless nights because of this.
Superb.
But
Superb, man. It looks like a very big market, very
yeah.
an untapped market, especially for the product managers. A lot of the opportunities. So I'm sure that from this entire thing, okay, from this podcast, our audience will get to know about this particular industry, and definitely you have gone so deep into this that about the life cycle stages, okay, that they will get a good context about this, even if they want to start making a switch into this into this industry, they have the base foundation set. But definitely
Yeah.
above that they can learn a lot of things, but yeah, that's a good foundation that we have set up over there. Superb, Kalol. It
And two
was.
more things, Sachin.
Yeah,
I
please.
just have a very small two slides, but it's not that long, and there's no
Sure.
explanation. Some of the implementation pitfalls. You can say poor user adoption, as I said, like telling them how to adopt to the new platform is difficult. Then lack of clear objectives, where clients come up with chaotic requirements, and then contract data silos. Now this is an important factor when it comes to migration. It's like people tend to bring store contracts in different systems, and they want to bring it together. So data is very spread out, and the success factor is like strong support Obviously, when you're implementing, strong support from every stakeholders is necessary, and then ongoing communication is like, clear collaboration is required, and obviously incremental rollout. Obviously, dividing into sprints, or what we say is crawl, walk, and run approach that we do. I think that those terminologies is applicable in most of the product life cycle. So obviously, you can make it out. Uh, and obviously the key takeaways. But I think, yeah, that would be it from my end related to contract life cycle.
Superb, superb. It was really detailed one that we had done. So yeah, Carol. So we learned a lot, man. Thank you for your time. Thank you for this thing. Thank you for sharing all this wisdom with us. So because I was totally unaware about this entire industry, and I'm sure a lot of people are not aware. So definitely thanks for this.
Thank you.